The clover honey sitting in a perfectly clear plastic bear on your supermarket shelf probably isn't legally considered honey at all. A Food Safety News investigation found over 75% of the honey sold in standard US grocery stores has been aggressively filtered to hide a dark truth about what's really inside, leaving zero trace of natural pollen. You'll track this missing pollen to expose fake supermarket syrups and identify 8 raw honeys by their floral signatures. If you buy a generic clover blend from a drugstore today, there is a 100% chance the pollen is gone and a 77% chance at big box stores like Target. The FDA explicitly states that if a product has been filtered so heavily that no microscopic pollen remains, it legally shouldn't be called honey. To make that perfectly clear liquid, big commercial brands use a process called ultrafiltration. They heat the honey and squeeze it under high pressure through microscopic filters. It is exactly like running coffee through a paper filter so fine it removes all the flavor oils. There's a very specific reason big brands want the microscopic pollen stripped out of your jar, and it has nothing to do with taste. By removing the microscopic grains of pollen suspended in golden liquid, they destroy the ability to perform melissopalynology. That is the forensic study of pollen trapped in honey. It works just like dusting a crime scene for botanical fingerprints. Without it, food scientists have no way to prove where a batch actually came from. Pollen belongs in the jar. As Christina Grausinger explains, bees and other pollinators such as flies or butterflies collect the nectar and pollen from flowers as their main source of food. Real alfalfa honey is packed with beneficial enzymes and antioxidants, provided it has never been boiled or squeezed through factory machinery. Raw alfalfa honey is mildly sweet and prone to rapid crystallization. This process turns the honey solid and grainy over time, acting exactly like sugar clumping together in a cold glass of iced tea. The ultrafiltration process, designed to delay this crystallization, secretly destroys the enzymes and antioxidants that make the honey good for you. When factories boil and filter honey for supermarket shelves to keep it looking clear and liquid for longer, they obliterate complex proteins made by bees like diastase and invertase. Think of these enzymes as tiny biological scissors that pre-digest the sugar for you. Destroying them means the aggressive processing designed to make supermarket honey look pretty also strips out all the nutritional benefits you bought it for. A jar of authentic wildflower honey captures a complex snapshot of a specific local ecosystem, but relying on many different floral sources makes these blends prime targets for fraud. When a label just says wildflower, it gives scammers a massive amount of cover. The most common way scammers fake honey is by watering down a small amount of the real stuff with cheap, industrially produced syrups made from rice or corn. Your healthy honey habit might just be a hidden high fructose corn syrup habit. We'll show you exactly how scammers sneak cheap corn syrup into pure honey without anyone noticing the difference. The fight for your breakfast table has escalated into a high-tech arms race between food scammers and forensic scientists. Pure Acacia honey naturally resists crystallizing, remaining brilliantly clear on the shelf for years without any aggressive factory heating. This shatters the commercial industry's main excuse. Big brands claim they have to ultra-filter their honey to keep it liquid for consumers. But raw Acacia proves that if you source the right nectar, you don't need to strip out the pollen to keep a jar clear. According to the National Honey Board, Acacia is one of more than 300 distinct floral honeys. A monofloral honey is made primarily from the nectar of one specific type of flower. It is the culinary equivalent of a single origin coffee bean, offering a distinct flavor profile and color that completely outclasses a generic house blend. You are missing out on a world of complex culinary flavors if you only eat the generic blended syrup sold in plastic bears. Robust eucalyptus honey carries a slightly medicinal, herbal flavor that scammers routinely try to dilute with corn syrup to stretch their profits. To catch these fakes, labs use advanced molecular fingerprinting tools. They employ carbon-13 isotope ratio mass spectrometry, or IRMS. This test looks at the atomic weight of carbon to find the exact ancestry of a sugar molecule. It can easily spot the chemical difference between nectar gathered by a bee and syrup pumped out of a corn refinery. IRMS specifically hunts for C4 plant sugars like corn or cane. These are sugars derived from specific types of industrially farmed plants. Mixing C4 corn syrup into real eucalyptus honey is like using cheap filler ingredients like sawdust in grated Parmesan cheese. Subscribe, please. Subscribe, please. Genuine buckwheat honey is famous for being dark and incredibly rich in antioxidants, often seen crystallizing beautifully in a glass jar. Because it is naturally dark and opaque, fraudsters frequently fake it using cheap rice syrup, which evades older isotope tests that only look for corn or cane sugars. To catch C3 syrups like rice syrup, scientists deploy nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. NMR spectroscopy involves using intense magnetic fields to map the exact chemical makeup of a food. It functions as an MRI scan for your food. By generating a molecular fingerprint of the jar's contents, NMR labs can instantly reveal if vats of cheap rice syrup were secretly mixed into honey drums before they reached the grocery store. To prove that a rare jar of Yaupon holly honey is authentic, modern laboratories scan the DNA of thousands of microscopic pollen grains. Yaupon holly comes from a plant scientifically known as Ilex vomitoria. Because it is so rare and commands a premium price, sellers need absolute proof of its botanical origin. Scientists use a technique called DNA metabarcoding. This process scans multiple biological signatures at once, working just like scanning a whole grocery cart of barcodes in one single beep. A lab like Synsoma GmbH can run DNA metabarcoding on a single sample and instantly identify the exact floral source from 35,000 pollen grains. Knowing the exact floral source through this genetic scan is the only foolproof way to guarantee you're getting genuine, unadulterated honey. Authentic Manuka honey from New Zealand relies on strict UMF or MGO certification and heavy pollen DNA tracing to justify its massive price tag and defeat fake syrups. The price tag is your first red flag. If you see a jar of honey selling for just $3 or $4 a pound, it is economically impossible for it to be pure raw honey. You are buying flavored syrup. This brings us to the real reason those cheap supermarket honeys are ultra-filtered to begin with. The exact filtration process supermarkets use to make honey look perfectly clear is a loophole used by fraudulent suppliers to disguise cheap syrup. Fraudulent suppliers strip the pollen out so customs agents cannot trace where a batch of honey actually came from. This allows them to engage in transshipment. Transshipment sneaks goods through a middleman country to hide their true origin, functioning exactly like washing dirty money through a shell corporation. Scammers do this to dodge anti-dumping tariffs, which are taxes meant to stop countries from flooding the market with dirt-cheap, heavily subsidized goods. As the My Adventures in Beekeeping blog states, there is only one reason to ultra-filter honey, and there's nothing good about it. This deception goes deeper. Faking honey is such a massive global business that the FDA literally classifies it as economically motivated adulteration. In their 2021 to 2022 sampling, they found 10% of imported samples were fake, slamming violators with Import Alert 99-47 to block their syrups from entering the country. Honey fraud is just the beginning. Watch next to uncover the molecular truth behind fake extra virgin olive oil. Supermarkets use aggressive ultrafiltration to disguise cheap, untraceable syrup.
Seek out raw, pollen-rich honey to finally taste real floral signatures. If you liked this, why real vanilla costs so much and when to use imitation, that's the next one.